Welcome to Disney Inside Out. I'm Andrea.
And I'm Ryan.
Je m'appelle Andrea.
Oh yeah, je m'appelle Ryan.
Oh my goodness. Why am I speaking my expert level of French? Could it be I am secretly French? No, I think that's pretty obvious. Could it be because today we're going to be talking about a little somebody's trip to Disneyland Paris? Could it be Ryan?
Moi?
Moi?
Moi.
Oui, oui.
Oui, it was me.
'Twas
who went
you.
to Paris.
Who went to Paris?
Look at that.
Oh my goodness. We talked about this too, that you were like, because for the Tokyo one, I know we did like a pre-planning one.
Yes.
And then one when I came back, and you were just like, I don't think I want to do that. I think I'll just talk about it when I get back.
And I agree with that only because I feel like Disneyland Paris was fairly similar to Orlando. Like,
yeah.
there were times when I was there and I was like, oh, right, I'm not in Orlando. Because it
Really?
was kind of similar. Like, it's their Disneyland is like Magic Kingdom. And
Yeah.
so there were times I walked around and I was like, oh, right, I'm not in Florida. Just like visually, I would remind myself.
In a way, that's a plus, but also I'm already learning something very interesting. But so it was your choice. You were like, I don't think we need to do a planning. Like, it wasn't like we needed to do like a special ops for it from the research you had done.
Yeah, I mean, also, I think I went solo, so that in itself was less planning already because I was like, it's just me. I could change my mind at the last minute or I could do whatever. And also, I feel like with Tokyo, I just think it's a lot different. And Disneyland Paris is, I think, pretty close to the U.S. parks. Some things function differently, but for the most part, I felt pretty confident. I was like, I think I can go. You know, I bought the ticket in advance and I was like, I'm going to use their like Premier Access pass.
Right.
But other than that,
a similar wording to what they had actually in Tokyo Disney.
Yes.
They had Premier Access.
I think that's what it was. Yeah, it was called.
Well, not to jump the gun, but I had read about it that around 2014, the park was struggling so much that Disney started to bit by bit take back the company from the tourism board. That it was basically similar. What happens in international parks is like the big tourism venture will have a majority shareholder investment into the company, and thus they get to kind of like determine, right, where the park goes. In the case of, it used to be Euro Disney, then they changed it to Disneyland Paris. They struggled, and then in like 2014, the Disney company started to buy back shares. Then by 2017, they fully owned the park again. So I wonder if that had something to do with your experience.
I think
because that wasn't
so.
the case in Tokyo.
Right.
The Oriental Land Company.
And I thought about that because I was like, yeah, Disneyland Paris is owned by Disney again. So it definitely... I think that's why when I was there and looking at it, I was like, this is very much like as if you were going to Disney World, or Disneyland, but less because there's only two parks.
Well, okay. Let's in the beginning.
In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God. Do you know that song?
Is it a
script.
Jesus-y song?
And I don't know why I know it.
I was like, is it from Godspell?
Yeah. It's from the musical gospel. Nope, it's not in that one. It's from the musical Bible. Anyway.
That great. It's just, there's a revival all the time of that one.
Yes.
So it appears that it's that thing, okay. Disneyland Paris doesn't seem to be located in like Paris proper.
No.
Right. So it's kind of like if you come to New York, like MetLife Stadium, which is like Giant Stadium where the Jets play, like it's in New Jersey.
Yes.
So I feel like it sounds...
You feel like it's right in the middle of like the Empire State Building and we're at the stadium.
Oh my God, I'm going to go get, like run to the top of the Chrysler Building and then jump into Giant Stadium.
Right,
that's not going to happen.
Yes.
But it looks like it's located in Marne-la-Vallée in France. And it has two theme parks, Disneyland and Walt Disney Studios Park.
Yes.
There's several hotels. The park, in case you're wondering, it opened in April 1992. So when you went, did you stay at one of the hotels? No.
I decided.
I like that you started.
Yeah, I was like, wait, this is not
He
visual.
started shaking his head, and I was like,
you're like,
you will have to vocalize.
speak. I was like, I will not be speaking. I
think you also were like, you know this already. I was like, our listeners
we already
don't.
talked about that. Anyway, I did not stay at a Disney hotel because a couple of reasons. One, they are very expensive as they are in Florida. And all the Reddit reviews were saying that the price does not equal the experience, much less than like Florida. They're like, it's a little more worth it for the theming, the experience. They're like, but in Paris, it's just not. And so I was like, yeah, I don't want to spend, $500-$600 for, I did a hotel for one night. So I spent some days in Paris, and on my last day of Paris, I did all day at Disney, spent the night, and went to the airport the next morning.
Okay, but it wasn't at a Disney hotel.
It wasn't a Disney hotel. It was actually a hotel that was within walking distance, which I would totally recommend. It was like a Marriott Moxie, I think.
Oh, nice.
And it was like a 20, 30-minute walk, or the train stops there, and then the train stops at Disney. So it's one stop ride. So really fast.
Now, we're New Yorkers. This is something I encountered when I was living in LA for a short time. I remember I walked to this theater once, and someone was like, "Where's your car?" And I was like, "I walked here." They're like, "Oh, you're so New York."
Yes.
Do other people walk there?
Yes.
Did you see?
So
okay.
it is legitimately like you could because I do the
Okay.
same thing where I was like, oh, but it says I can walk, and then you're on a highway, and it's like this isn't meant for pedestrians. There actually were ways, and I saw other people walking from like other places. So
Perfect.
It was a long walk, and I didn't do it again because I was tired, and I did go back to the hotel in the afternoon, take a break, and go back. And the train was super convenient because it literally stops right outside the Disneyland gate, and then it goes right to where my hotel was. So it was very convenient.
And how long into your? Well, first of all, how many stays were you in Paris, proper?
I was in Paris on, let's see, I got there like Monday morning. So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And then Thursday morning, I went to my hotel at Disney and did the whole day Thursday at Disney parks, and then left on Friday.
So for a Euro trip, it's considered pretty short.
It was quick, yeah.
But you did the damn thing, it sounded
Did
like.
it? I mean, I would go back because there were tons of things I didn't see in Paris. But again, as a solo traveler, you do a lot more. I think I was pounding the pavement while I was there. I mean, I was looking at my steps, and I walked 9 miles in one day once, and I was like, wow, that was a lot of walking, because I wanted to walk everywhere and not do the metro because you're underground and you don't see.
It's so beautiful.
yeah.
You want to see all the things there too. I totally understand. Although I found the Paris metro to be incredibly helpful.
Oh, super. I used it the last day. Once I was kind of retracing, I was like, all right, I'll use the metro.
It's a very effective form.
It's good.
When you live in New York City and you have the MTA, I mean, God bless the MTA. It does its thing. It has its faults, but I was just in Boston and I went on their transit system. I'm like, what's happening here?
Yeah, they're not all as good. But Paris, I was like, this one was good. It was, I'm always amazed. I know in New York City, the subway cars seem so much bigger. In Paris, they're smaller, even shorter. I was like, if you're really tall, your head's touching the ceiling.
Just
almost.
that. What's because they're people. It's funny. Before the engineer who's recording this, we were remarking how tall he is, and he was saying in Europe he has problems with doorways.
I was like, yeah, I saw that recently.
So he would have a problem in the Parisian subway.
I mean,
it sounds like.
I think it would be okay for him. But
Yes,
it was
he would
definitely
make it.
shorter. Yeah. And I did. And it's just very clean because it doesn't run 24/7 too.
Right,
That's
there's
the
that
other thing.
too. The
I
city
actually
does
saw
shut down.
employees cleaning and taking care of it. And I was like, oh, that's new. I don't ever see that here.
Yeah, that happened in Tokyo too. I saw a construction worker cleaning up around the site,
was
picking
like,
up
"You
garbage.
care
I'm
to
like,
clean?"
what?
But I still saw people jumping turns out, the same
Sure.
behavior that were
The same exciting behavior.
Yeah. I saw people asking for money,
Viva la revolution!
there was mental health issues and things
Yes.
like that.
Yes.
But overall, I think it was I
But
felt very
behind the
safe.
mental health issues, there's an accordion playing.
Yeah.
You stayed in more central Paris, and then you went
Yes.
closer to this Marriott that was closer to Disneyland.
Yeah, I was closer, 30-minute walk from it, and a lot of people had recommended it, and it was a really nice hotel, and it was way less expensive than it would have been at Disney.
How much?
Probably maybe 140, 150 for a night, I think.
As compared to like $400 or $500.
As compared to like, yeah. And I think that was in US dollars. I can't, maybe that was euros, would have been a little bit more in US dollars. But I mean, the price, I was just like, there's no, especially when people are saying the Disney hotels, the theming, they're just like, it's not really worth it. And I didn't need to stay at one. You know, I was literally there to just sleep and go to the airport the next morning.
Sure.
So if I was taking a full trip to Disney and just being Disney, I was like, maybe I'd consider it, but still, it's a lot of money for, you know, I mean, the hotels were beautiful. The Disneyland hotel, literally right at the gates, like you just walk outside and go to the park. So I was like, that's amazing. But that hotel was probably like $1,000 a night. Like,
and you're like, oh, okay, that is really lovely, but I would rather maybe do that stateside where they do it the best.
Yeah,
you know?
Or, I mean, even on stateside, I'm just like, if the difference of me paying for the hotel means like a shorter trip or less money to do like maybe a nice dining or buy things, like, I don't know, I feel like weigh it out. If I would rather spend more time there or do more experiences or things, whereas the hotel stay is not as important to me all the time. Like, if it's just a place to shower, sleep,
exactly,
then why pay? I understand if you're like, I really want to go and I want to enjoy the resort. Like,
if you have children, especially like the theming, I know is top notch for kids. You know, you're going to be going back to the hotel for like putting your baby down for a nap or something like that. You'll be there for a long time. You'll be staying. Maybe you're getting together with other family and you want to spend more time at the resort. Totally makes sense. But yeah, I'm the same way. Like, I'm real like fly in, fly out kind of thing with the hotel. Like, maybe go back to take a nap, but that must be if I'm like really desperate and the caffeine isn't working. And I feel like we're similar. That's what we connected. I remember when we first met. We're very similar that way.
Yeah, yeah.
So that's where you stayed. And they have two parks.
Yes.
In Tokyo Disney, it was not advised that you do 2 parks in one day. I know people do it, but it's just like you would miss a lot. Did you go to both parks, and did you feel like you could accomplish a lot going to 2 if you did?
I did both parks in one day, and I will say I did everything that I wanted.
That's great.
But if I were to do it again, like with somebody else or something, I would probably say, like, let's do 2 days just to give a little bit of breathing room. Because again, I was pounding the pavement.
Yes.
Like, I was like, I got to do here. I mean, I went in between the parks sometimes. And sometimes I wish I had planned it out a little better.
Like, you went back and forth between different attractions between the parks?
Well, especially at the end of the night, I was like, oh, I want to do this thing. But then I want to watch this show over in this park, but then I want to go back to the store in this park. So like I did go in between them because they're very close to each other. But there were times when I was like, I should have planned out the route a little bit because I was like kind of going all over and I was like, I'm a little tired. But
that's happened too. Like, I remember in Disney World, like when Rise of the Resistance had just opened and like we just were like, I think we were at another park and we were like, we have to get in an Uber and like go back because we finally got our boarding like to go on this. You know, you're just you look down and you've walked 25,000 steps like that day easily. So was there like a park hopper ticket that was available?
Yes, I did that. The 2 parks one day. And then I bought the Premier Access Pass, so they have 2 options. You can either buy the Premier Access Pass. Basically, all of the top rides are included with this, and it means you can go on at any time you want, one time. The other option is kind of like our individual Lightning Lane. Right. You can pick the ride, pick the time you want to, and just pay for that ride. If I were to do this again, I probably would have done that because the price, the wait times just were not that long for everything. So there were some things I could have easily waited in line and not used the pass. And when I actually added up what rides I would have spent the money on, it would have been less than the pass, but I was like, I'm here for one day. I want to make sure I do
a lesson. You're passing it on to other people.
Yeah.
But a la carte sounds like for you, it would have been a better go.
But I mean, the pass though, it was nice to not have to pick a time and just be like, oh, I just want to ride that. And I knew I could do it one time. And I didn't have to worry about like rope dropping something. Because there was a couple rides there that like the queue is instantly like 75 minutes within open, you know, like
what were those rides?
So Crush's Coaster in Walt Disney Studios, which was probably might have been my favorite.
Okay.
They need it in the US. It is fantastic.
Let's get to it. Let's cruise on over to Crush right now. So Crush, I know from like Turtle Talk with Crush.
Finding Nemo.
From Finding Nemo.
Yes.
A lot of hilarious clips of the interviews that they do on both TikTok and Instagram. A lot of funny questions that children ask Crush. So there's a roller coaster.
There's a coaster. It's in the dark. It kind of reminds me of Guardians of the Galaxy in the way that it spins you while you're
a Cosmic
gliding.
Rewind?
Yes.
Oh.
It's not as quite as like top tier as that, but it's very smooth, and it's supposed to be like you're riding the EAC, which is the East Australian Current in the movie that the turtles ride. So you're gliding and it's dark, and I mean it really like gets you like woo, you know, like it's fun. It was I get why people run to that to do it, because it probably was probably my favorite just because it was unique. I was like, we don't have this in US. Some of the other rides were kind of like maybe carbon copies, but different theming. Like they also had an Avengers Assemble ride, which was basically like Rock and Roller Coaster, but it was Avengers. Like it was the same sort of like thing.
And then 0 to 60 or whatever.
Yeah, I think it shot you off, and then just the track and everything. I was like, this kind of just feels like an indoor roller coaster similar to Rock and Roller Coaster, but it was Avengers. Still enjoyable, but I just was like, that reminded me of Rock and Roller Coaster.
There you go.
Yeah.
I mean, that is something in a lot of theme parks is like you will have these kind of like out of the box tracks, right?
Yeah.
But you're like, oh, I think what Disney does is the theming is like what ultimately like separates it from the other, you know, parks.
Yeah.
So was the Crush's roller coaster, was that on the premiere pass?
It was.
Okay.
So, yeah, the only things that were not on the premiere pass that I actually waited in line, and I didn't even wait more than like 15 minutes. But of course, having to not wait in line and then wait 15 minutes, I'm like, oh my God, this is taking forever. But was in the Disneyland park, they had the old dark rides in Fantasyland. They have the Snow White one, and which they got rid of in Florida.
Is it the one? Now, I remember being on that when I was younger, and the witch is just very creepy because she pops out.
Yes.
Sorry. Wait. Spoiler alert. Spoiler alert. The witch pops out.
The witch pops out. Her boob pops out.
Her witch's titty pops out.
Only adults only on the ride. So it used to be called Snow White's Scary Adventures in the U.S. And then I think they might have changed it. Then they got rid of it. I think Disneyland still has it.
And it's Disneyland
toned down.
It. Yes.
And this one also is toned down to be a little less witch heavy and scary and a little more Snow White. And so it was cute. And then they have Pinocchio too, which also used to, I think in Disneyland they still have it. But it's also the dark ride with Pinocchio. So those two were not on the pass.
I'm just remembering. So I think at the Disneyland one, there's this cool like animatronic where like the evil queen opens a curtain and like peeks out. Yes. Do they have it?
She's outside the queue. She's like when you're going in to line up, she's up at the top. And if you watch the curtain, they'll eventually part and she's there. And then she's like,
you little bitches.
She's shirtless. She's
yeah. And then
just apples.
But luckily...
She's like,
that's what that Charlie XCX song is
she's
about.
She's like, you want these apples?
How about these apples?
Exactly.
Well, it's funny because like we've been watching a lot of Righteous Gemstones recently, and there's definitely a writer on that show that has an affinity for Disney because they'll like make references. And there was one where it was like, oh, look, our cousins, they're looking down on us like they're in the Haunted Mansion. And I was like, that doesn't remind me of the Haunted Mansion. That reminds me of the evil queen looking down. Yeah. I was like, so get your shit tight and right. Okay, Righteous Gemstones.
Look down at the Haunted Mansion?
It's over now, but whatever. Yeah. Just a note for when you do a Righteous Gemstones revival. I actually think we might need to do an episode of just all the Disney references that Righteous Gemstones does because it's pretty hilarious. So they had that. They had the Pinocchio one. I would not go on it. Pinocchio makes me so sad. I don't know about you.
Yeah,
How was it?
I mean, it's the story of the movie, and the story is kind of dark, you know? Like when they turn to donkeys, it's really sad, and they had that part. And it did the whole, story. So it's a little
fucked me.
Yeah.
It's fucked me up for life, and I'm having a visceral reaction thinking about
What
it
is
right
it?
now.
Is it the donkey part?
It's the donkey thing, and
When
also
they're-
Dumbo too. Like I'm just everyone be nice. Like why?
Yeah, there's something in that era of the like separation of like child and mother, like the kids in Pinocchio are going like "Mama, Mama" as they're being taken away, and then Dumbo's separated from his mother. There's some like again when we were talking about Return to Oz. Pre all 90s or whatever, like we weren't afraid to like scare children to be like, hey, you could be taken away from your parents or this bad thing could happen to
The
you.
Nazis are coming.
Yeah. You bet. Yeah. Like we weren't afraid to be like, hey kids, like you better behave because like bad stuff can happen to you. Whereas now it's a little more like, don't worry, darling.
Yes.
Nothing. The world is a good place.
Well, it's like one day I will be gone, but I'm going to instill great amount of how do you can get self-esteem and feel strong.
You can do anything you put your mind to.
But I'm a highly sensitive person, and like many white women, I am an empath. So, like it's just something I struggle with.
Yes.
Okay. So you loved crushes. Would you say, you've been to Disneyland in California? Mm-hmm. So
I thought about it.
You went. Then
I haven't been in a long time. It's probably been like 10 years, but
I think I went like 6-7 years ago.
Yeah.
But do you recall going on Snow White's ride?
I mean, I remember doing it when I was little, and I feel like I remember doing it in Disney World.
Yes.
Before they got rid of it. Yeah.
Okay, so what other rides?
I can go through them.
Please.
So let me go through Disneyland Park because I starred all the ones that I did. So I know. Pirates of the Caribbean. I actually enjoyed theirs a little more than Florida. 2 drops, like Disneyland. They had 2 drops in it instead of 1 when Florida only has 1. Their theming, I would say the theming of the entire park, really beautiful. And some of the areas were rival like US. Like they just have beautiful they had these really cool sculptures of the villains. I think I might have sent you a picture of one. And then their pirates area, they had like a ship on the water. They had like a Skull Rock kind of thing. And I think the ship was some things were closed while I was there. And I'm not sure what the ship thing was, but I think you could go on it. I don't know if it's like for kids to play or something.
Oh, cool. There's something like that with Peter Pan in Tokyo in Disney Sea too.
Yes.
Yeah.
But Pirates, pretty much very similar. Just things were in different order. Some of the scenes, some of them were looked a little different. But I don't know. I really loved the opening. You're kind of gliding through this like lagoon in the beginning, and I just was like, I like this.
These parks also like 1992 in comparison to Orlando and California have been open for a very, very long time where they're building upon, already manufactured things.
Yes.
I guess not like 92 is like,
Yes.
I mean, it feels like it was yesterday for me personally.
I know.
But like, I wonder if that has something to do with it, that it already is like a little more, it's a newer version of it.
Mm-hmm. I mean, they had Jack Sparrow in it. Like
I was going to say,
here.
And did he appear to be
It was
looking
Johnny
like
Depp.
Johnny Depp? Okay.
Yeah, I think it actually was Johnny Depp.
Oh my God.
He touched me.
He's run.
And I was okay
I'm
with
excited
it.
to see your trial
and
now.
I was okay with it.
Oh, you were okay with it?
I what's the word?
Consented?
Yes. I will say complied. I mean, that works too, I guess.
It does suck because Johnny Depp is so hot as Jack Sparrow. Just so unbelievably hot. And I wish that could be a person that could be plucked out,
Yeah.
Although he's like a shitty boyfriend type too. Anyways.
I don't know.
He's a trickster.
He's a trickster. He's a pirate.
So it was like an animatronic similar to the one that they have.
Yeah, it was very exactly like,
Fantastic.
yeah.
I
So it
love
was
it.
good. I did the Star Tours ride. I wasn't going to do that one because I was like, sometimes I don't even do it at Disney World. But it was basically the same thing. The thing that cracks me up the most in that ride, even in Disney World, because Disneyland Paris and also Disney World, there's international guests, like people from all over. Like it's not just French going there. Like I heard all languages. That's why I was like, sometimes I felt like I was in Florida because there was English, there was French, there was but the part where they're like, pull on the yellow strap on your seatbelt, to make sure, and people don't understand. And they're like, whoa. And I was like, no matter where you go, it's universally, nobody understands the pull on the strap of the seatbelt to show that you're tucked in, because every ride, like we went through that.
But you're a good student. You're like, I know.
I'm like, I know. Looks like I'm backing off.
I want you to know that I'm sitting across from Ryan. It looked like he was jerking off.
They're like, are you pulling on the strap? Or I was like, both.
I'm just having a great time at Disney.
I'm having a really good time.
Well, I will say about Tokyo Sea is that all the rides were, if there was dialogue, it was in Japanese.
I was fascinated that, so Pirates was in French. For the most part, things were, sometimes they were both. Mm-hmm. The one that I was so prepared for, you know what? I'll get to it.
Okay.
I did It's a Small World, just to see what their small world was like. Cute, nothing too
But isn't the US portion of it pretty hilarious, I saw?
Yeah, like they have like a very stereotypical like Hollywood, like old Hollywood, like they're dancing, and I was like, none of this reminds me of the US right now.
Wait, do they have Statue of Liberty though? They're like, don't forget what we gave you.
Yeah. I don't know if there was there must have been. I felt like there was something New York City, but I don't remember if it was Statue of Liberty.
It just feels like they need to.
Yeah,
they also made it.
Yeah.
So
I don't know. I did their Space Mountain is Star Wars Hyperspace Mountain.
Ooh.
Better.
Goes
upside down.
Ooh.
Shoots you off in the beginning. Star Wars imagery.
There.
It was really fun.
Like projections on the ceiling, or
yeah, it's a little. It's still like reminds you of Space Mountain in that it's like zip that you feel like your head's gonna get cut off, but it
so fun.
Star Wars, yeah. So I was like, well, if my head gets cut off, the last thing I'll see is Chewbacca.
There we go.
Yeah,
and then it's Jar Jar Binks. You're like, that's not what I wanted.
Cut my head off. I'll cut my own head off. I did Peter Pan's Flight. Same as nothing, I kept thinking of the Peter Pan ride in Tokyo that I really want to do that you did. That I was like, I wish this was that. I mean, I love the nostalgia of this one, but really, just like the US, wait time, so crazy for Peter Pan. It was on the pass, so I didn't have to wait. But I was like, what is it about this ride that evokes like hour plus wait time when it's literally like...
You're just flying.
It's the simplest, I don't want to say cheapest, but like... It's almost like they keep it looking older because it's that nostalgia aspect. But
I know the issue of it in Orlando for the longest time was because the queue was too short, and then they extended the queue during a refurb, a renovation several years ago. So I wonder, does it suffer maybe from the same issue? It's just like, it's almost like I remember this chef on Top Chef, he would like only put out a certain amount of his dishes for people to take. So it looked like other people took his dishes. You know what I mean?
Right.
So it's like, ooh, look at it's really popular when really it's just like, everyone's crammed in there.
And I feel like everybody, like every person who has kids, they're like, oh, but mommy used to do this when she was little. It's her favorite. So you want your kids to go on it. And I feel like kids now are like, that sucked. Like they come off and they're like, that's it. So that was good. Phantom Manor, their version of Haunted Mansion.
Ooh.
So when I did this.
I love they call it Phantom Manor. It's because it feels like this is a Disney property, but they're like, we don't want to get sued by Disney. It's like, bitch, you are Disney.
Mansion that is scary. Scary mansion.
A boo-boo house.
A boo-boo house of ghosts. I was shocked at this. I walked up to it. I took a picture of how empty it was. There was no line. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, even the house, it looks different. Mm-hmm. I was so excited to go on it. And I was like, why is nobody like doing this ride? And it had similar scenes to the Haunted Mansion. Like it looked the same. The story I think was pretty similar to but I felt like it was more like the bride was like following you throughout the ride, whereas she only kind of appears, in the attic or at the very end.
Is the animatronic great, like how she is in the...
they did. And the scene where, in the US where you go and it's like a graveyard and it's the ghost party.
Yes.
So in this one, it is like you're in an old Western town and it's all Western ghosts. And what I realized, and this is what I would have spent more time on, that they really spent with their theming. Frontierland is like connected to Phantom Manor. Like there's a story. So when you're going through the Phantom Manor, it's like Frontierland is haunted. and these ghosts are there. And I think there's probably things you could see out in Frontierland that like would sync up with like, so I was like, that's really cool.
That's why these people get the big bucks. Like these Imagineers, that's fantastic. I love that they did that.
And their Frontierland felt a little bit bigger to me. And just like, I don't know, I felt like everything, there was like more room to breathe. Like, whereas in Disney World, I feel like they're building a lot. There's a lot of food places. Like everything's almost like kind of stacked. Here you'd walk and you'd be like, these are just trees. These are just nice. Like I almost was like, oh, they could build something here if they wanted to. But I'm glad that they didn't because it just felt like roomier and nice.
Well, in Europe and France, they value the environment. So
yes. So I did Indiana Jones and the Temple of Peril. This was the first ride that I like went to. I didn't need to use my pass on it, but I did because there was never a wait. And I was like, why is there no wait? Because I'm thinking of like what you talked about, the Indiana Jones ride, even in California is good. And then the one you did was really good.
We had to get on single rider to make it happen.
Yeah. This one, not so much.
Oh,
I got off this one and I was like, that's it. It was an outdoor coaster.
Oh.
No, like, story, just a coaster. Like, if you didn't tell me it was Indiana Jones, I would have been like, is this just a, like, it just felt like a little, oop, we're going upside down, then we're going down. And it just, like, I was so underwhelmed. And there was no Indiana Jones. When you
didn't
left,
see him?
When you left the ride, you could see, like, his hat, like, his camp or whatever. Like, the ride queue was themed. But the actual ride, there was no... Like, it wasn't like there's animatronics or anything. It was completely outdoors. It reminded me of like a county fair roller coaster, you know, like it just kind of looped and around. And I was like, oh, Did
it have any like archaeologist, like kind of tropes with it or?
Not in the ride. I don't know if like you know, they always have the safety videos playing if there was some kind of story and I just didn't see it because we just got right on the ride.
Sure.
I mean, the ride queue like had some suggestions of Indiana Jones, but I was expecting the ride. I don't know what I was expecting, but that was not it.
Well, maybe they repurposed it then. It sounds like that's what's like.
I don't know, but
they're like Crystal Skull is going to be a huge hit.
Well, it could use some Crystal Skulls. I did. Oh, so I saw the mysteries, like the Nautilus thing, and I was like, oh my god, I have to do it. So I'm going into it, and I'm like passing all these people because I was like, gosh, everybody's like admiring things in the line queue because there was like a lot of theming and like windows and portals that looked like they had fish. And I'm like passing people because I'm like, get to the ride. And then I get back outside and I realize it was just a walkthrough. It was not a ride. And I was like, oh. Because I was like, why is it? I was like, no. I was like I'm passing all these people. Yeah, it was just a walkthrough. And I was like, oh, I thought this was like the submarine thing that you get on and you like, it feels like you're going, because that's what it looked like.
Right.
But it was just a walkthrough of like, oh, you're in the submarine.
Ryan, the journey is the destination.
Not in this. I was like, I don't have time. I've got one day. I was like, I can't be doing this. I talked about Pinocchio. I did that. They had
Don't talk about Pinocchio again.
Yeah, I won't bring that up. They had a huge Alice in Wonderland labyrinth, like maze.
Ooh.
Where you could kind of get lost, you know? Mm-hmm. And you make your way to the castle, the Queen's Castle. Really cute, really fun. I always loved Alice in Wonderland, so the theming was really great.
Do you want to know how you get out of a maze if you're lost?
How?
You just keep your left hand on the wall at all times, and eventually it will get you to leave the maze. I should have tried that. Yes.
I should have tried that.
I just want to tell everyone out there how smart I am.
I love that.
I learned it when I was really high in college when we went into like a hay maze. I know. Yeah. My friend Emma, shout out to Emma, told me, because I was like, what if we don't get out of here? She's like, just keep your hand on the left, your left hand on the wall and you'll be fine, girl.
She's like, what's her name? Phantom of the Opera. Keep your hand at the level of your eyes. Keep the hand at the level of your eyes. I'm like, was she real or did you imagine Emma? She's the ghost of the hay maze.
At the end, I was like, where's my friend? At the end of the day, they're like, Emma, she's been dead for 30 years.
You mean this Emma? There's like a picture of her. She's like 18th century. Like, oh. She's like, just keep your left hand on the left wall. Or yeah, that's funny. I didn't get to do Big Thunder Mountain because it was closed. And people had been telling me that it's better. And so I didn't get to do that one.
Do you know what elements are better about it?
No, I didn't ask because I was like, oh, let me just ride it and see. And then I didn't.
They pour wine down your throats.
Yeah. They punch you and then they send you off. And by the time you come to, you're like, that was amazing.
It is the French way.
Yeah.
I said it like Jerry Orbach as Lumiere.
Be our guest.
Be our guest.
Let's see. Disneyland, what else? I went into, so in their castle, Sleeping Beauty Castle, which is really beautiful. I think they should have made it the Beast Castle because it's France. But anyway, it's a beautiful castle. You can actually go into it and they have stained glass windows of Sleeping Beauty and they have like the story of Sleeping Beauty in the windows. You can actually walk out onto the balcony. You know when you're on the other side in Fantasyland and you can see the back of the castle?
Right.
And they have the restaurant up there. So there's no restaurant up there, but you can actually come out those doors and stand on the balcony. I was like, they would never allow this in Florida. People would ruin it in 2 seconds.
Oh, yeah. We're too dumb.
Someone would pee off of it. Somebody would throw
off
up.
of it. Yes.
Yeah, someone would throw stuff. But
someone hang a Trump sign off of it.
Yeah, a big flag. Yeah. I was like, here I felt like people are a little more like respectful of like, we can go out here, but we don't need to, do bad things. I don't know.
Traveling does make you realize like how dumb Americans
Stupid.
are.
Yeah.
When I was in Tokyo, there were many times I was like, they just let them have access to this. They would never.
I was like, I was like, I can go out here. And I was like, well, we would never be allowed to be like with no guard or just like anything. I was like, pretty cool.
In Tokyo, they have these like little cubicle things where you can sit and like watch a video or something like to kill time. And I was like, New York City, someone would ruin that fun in 5 seconds.
5 seconds.
Like they would make it disgusting.
That reminds me, on the Paris Metro, I was fascinated that you push the button to open the doors.
Yes.
So as the train is rolling to a stop, some people will push the door as it's still moving and kind of hop off as it slows down. And I was like, nope, that would last 0.2 seconds before somebody did something in New York.
I'm shocked that I haven't been to Paris in like over 10 years, and I'm shocked that it's still...
Some of the cars were automatic, but some of them, I feel like it was like, you have to push the button to open if you want to get off too.
Right.
But when I saw the train rolling to a stop and someone do it, I was like, oh my God, you can open the doors and literally jump out. I just was like, we would never have that.
Like you're in a musical being like, I'm shipping out.
I should have done that. I'm like, can you film me once? I should have done that. Okay, back to the castle. There's a dragon in the bottom of this castle. So cool. Very scary for small children because it is a really good animatronic. Makes a lot of noise.
It's not like a steampunk one like they have in the parade.
Yeah, she doesn't catch fire.
No.
She kind of looks like they don't say it's Maleficent, but she kind of looks like it's Maleficent as the dragon. Sure. But you just go and see. I say her. I'm assuming it's a her. I don't know. They.
She, her until the dragon lets us know.
Yeah. I was like, pronouns?
We'll be standing by dragon. Just let us know if you feel something different.
They had a little walkthrough of scenes from Aladdin. I did that just because there was also a restaurant like Agrabah, like a buffet. Ooh. But the food was actually like...
I was going to ask you about the food.
Yeah. I'll talk about the food.
You're like, I'll get there.
There's not that much to say because I didn't experience a lot of it. They do a little storybook canal thing that they used... I think they have a Disneyland
They
still.
have Disneyland, yes.
So they have it here, and it's really cute. You go on the water in these little boats, and you see little mini villages like from all the Disney movies. Like you see Elsa's Kingdom or you see
Is there
Belle's.
a tour guide with you?
So I remember the days I was telling my mom that. I was like, don't you remember the days when I used to sit in the boat with a microphone? Now it's just like a recording.
Honestly, I like that better. And I know as a job, sure, that's great. But also like I would disappear myself if I had to keep on saying that script over and over.
To your left, here's bells. Yeah. You start throwing in like slight little like...
And over here is where they'll bury my body.
Yeah. This is where Belle lost her virginity. And this second house to the left. Yeah. This is where Maurice
got... He was in beast mode when it happened.
Yeah. Maurice got trashed at this bar. Found his underwear there.
This is where King Triton lost custody of his children.
Yeah. This is where they found cocaine in King Triton's trident.
King Triton's
trident. That's what it is.
It opens up.
Yeah, he's like
fucking Sarah Michelle Gellar's little necklace and Cruel Intentions.
Yeah, each little spoke, he's like, just shoot right up. Let's see.
The cocaine's in a bubble.
Yeah, he's like, bloop. Oh, gosh. Oh.
That's why his hair turned white so quickly.
Yeah, he's like, guys.
Coke ages you.
He's like, I gotta swim to the 7 seas real fast. I'll be right back. That's all the rides. So there were some things I didn't do.
So those are all the rides.
So those are rides. I did not do any cocaine while I was there. I didn't do like the Dumbo ride. Some of the things I was like, I think that was really the only one ride that I didn't do. Oh, teacups. I was like, I'm not gonna do that.
Yeah.
Walt Disney Studios Park. Okay, I talked about Avengers Assemble, Flight Force, very much like Rock and Roller Coaster, sort of.
And we, just so I understand,
yes.
Part of the studios one is indoors, right?
The theme park?
Yeah.
So it's very much like Hollywood Studios in that they share the same issue that I'm like, what does the park want to be? Like, it's got a lot of different things going on. They recently revamped. So when you walk in the entrance, yes, you do walk through a part that is a complete building that makes you feel like you're on the red carpet at a Hollywood night. Like it's nighttime. And there's a quick service place in there. There's a store on one side. But basically you walk down to get to the other side to be outside. And then it's the park.
I see.
And the buildings all kind of look like studios, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Like actual studios where you would film.
Yeah, like set.
Sound stages.
Sound stages. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And
we are actors.
Yeah, I was like, what's the word? Burn. Little Mermaid joke. We talked about Crush's Coaster. I didn't do flying carpets over Agrabah.
You should know it because it is a real place.
Yeah, it is a real place in Iran or Iraq, such as the Iraq.
The Iraq.
Ratatouille. This is the ride that I was like, all right, I'm going to do this one, even though I almost didn't because I was like, I've done it. I know it's the same. I know that they had it first, so I've been on it in Florida.
Right.
But I was like, I would love to do it because it'll be all in French, and it's Ratatouille in Paris, all in English.
Oh, so carbon copy?
They got rid of the 3D.
What?
Which I was shocked. When I got in, I was like, oh my God, I didn't get my 3D glasses. And I was like, wait, nobody has 3D glasses. And I was like, it's not in 3D. And I will say, I thought, okay, well, that's okay. I do think it matters. And I don't know exactly why they got rid of the 3D other than maybe it was too much for kids or like, I don't know. And then I was like, was it never 3D and only the US did that? But I thought it was 3D. I should look that up.
I'm going to I want to look into it because I think it would really suffer from being two-dimensional.
I mean, like there's the set pieces around you, so it feels
technically it's
immersive.
4D.
Yeah, and I did think the absence of the 3D, I wasn't sure that I would really miss it, but I was like, it does add to it. And then I was kind of hoping, I was like, of all the rides here, I thought this one would be totally in French, but maybe because of I don't know why it's not. Like, the voices they could hire, I don't know. I didn't do any of the Toy Story rides. So they had an RC racer ride that was one of those rides where you like, have you ever been to like a state fair where they have like a pirate ship and it swings up one side? Yeah. That was what it was. And I was like, I don't really want to do that.
And you're in the race car?
You're in the race car, the RC racer.
Okay. Yeah, that's kind of...
They had a Spider-Man web adventure, which was fun. I was the winner in my car. Surprise, surprise.
Oh, so it's like similar to Toy Story Mania kind of thing?
So you're in a car with other people and it's motion activated and you swing your arms like you're yeah. You have to, everybody's kind of, everyone's pulling their really yellow red afterwards. Yeah.
Their yellow
You're throwing webs with your arm and you're hitting like the targets on the screen and it keeps moving you around. And it was actually fun, but it is it's
a workout.
It's probably fun to watch people. Because everyone's just going like with their arms back and forth.
One time I was on the subway and I was sitting next to this guy and in my peripheral I see his like hand like moving a lot and I was like, oh no, is this guy jerking off? I look over, he's on his iPad
practicing.
And he's just very intensely playing a game and I was like, honestly, this is worse than jerking off.
Are you practicing for Spider-Man or are you jerking off? He's like, both? Why can't it be both?
Little column A, little column B.
Twilight Zone Tower of Terror. I did their Tower of Terror. Same theming. Different though in that they don't have when you know how in the US you kind of ride through the hotel a little, or you like ride through.
Right.
You take the elevator, you go up a little bit, then you ride through that like attic of all the like Twilight Zone imagery.
Right. And there's kind of these like they're almost made of like tinfoil. It feels like
This they get you right to the drops. I feel like there's more drops, and there's always one of the characters. I think it might change when you go on the ride. One of the characters from the elevator, like, is there with you. Like, you see them frequently on the screen. Like, in this case, it was the little girl, and it was all in French, but she was saying something like, they're going to come for you or something. Ooh. And then there was I felt like there were more drops because there was no, like, ride beforehand.
Interesting. Yeah, there was a lack of, like, forward motion in Tokyo Sea as well. So, interesting.
But I was happy that it was still, like, Twilight Zone. I was surprised because I thought, I know how it's kind of becoming obsolete here, that people don't really watch it, and I was thinking in France surely that maybe people don't, but I don't know. That was those were all the rides in Disney Studios. It's small, they don't have a ton of a lot of big rides. Shows, so there were a few shows I did want to see, but I only ended up seeing one, and it was the one that everybody's like, you have to see it, and it's called Mickey and the Magician.
Okay.
It's a stage show indoors, really nice theater, Broadway musical type show, features characters like Elsa and Belle, and they all kind of, the genie, they all do numbers from like their movies. I was a little peeved. I would have liked, because Elsa also has her own Frozen show. I was like, I would have liked a different character than Elsa. Not that I don't love her, but in this case, because they had like Cinderella, Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Aladdin, I was like, could we not have had Ariel just to complete the sort of trifecta of the Renaissance? Instead, it was Elsa because I know she's so popular. But I was like, she's got her own Frozen show.
Sure.
But they do have a couple other shows. The Frozen one, Alice and the Queen of Hearts, I didn't see. I think that was a newer show. That was like a little like more modern take, like the costumes. I don't know if it's like, I don't know what the music is, but I think it's a little bit reimagined. And there's a Pixar musical show that I didn't see as well, but so.
So all in all, would you say the rides that you've been on at different parks, like, were overall better, about the same, or worse than? Would you say like average?
Compared to US?
Yeah.
I think...
Well, outside of Indiana Jones, because that sounds like I know your answer to that.
Yeah. I think for the most part, everything kind of like met the US. The only one that I was really like, oh my God, like I want this in photo was the Crush's Coaster, because it was just, I love the Finding Nemo theme, and I feel like Nemo deserves a ride more than what the Epcot one is, which is cute. But I was like, the Crush's Coaster thing was just, I was like, it's really fun. Like that was one I got off and I was like, oh, I would do that again.
And did you?
No, because the line was so long. I probably could have bought another individual pass for it, although they do sell out, so I don't know. There was one ride I did a Cars ride because I thought it was like the
one in
California.
Right.
It turned out to be like this big tram that just rode you slowly around this area, and there were like Cars characters, and they're like, hey, there's Mater. Oh. And then they took you to, do you remember Catastrophe Canyon in MGM Studios? It was the backlot tour where they would show you all the houses.
Right.
And then you'd pull up to this canyon and it would set on fire. And so they had that exact thing. Even the tram, I was like, this is a carbon copy of the backlot tour, but they've made it Cars. And you pull up to the Catastrophe Canyon, they do the same thing. They shake and the water comes. And then they're like, oh, that was close. And then you go back home. And I was like, wow, this is exactly the backlot tour.
Oh,
Cars.
I missed that. I used
too.
to love that.
I loved it. And I was reading up and I forgot how long it was. Like it was a long attraction because it was walking. Like there was a tour part. There was the tram ride. There was that part of it. And then I think even post that, you used to be able to walk and see shows tape if that was still going on.
You would see costumers literally making costumes.
It was a working studio for a brief period anyway.
Back in the day. Okay, should we talk about food?
Yeah, let me get the food, and then because you can open your gift live. live. So I'll say, be honest with the food. There's more of an emphasis on like French food, obviously. They still have burgers, fries, and things like that. But I felt like there was more variety of food, but not necessarily food that like Americans would probably, like American children would be like, I don't want to eat that. Like the agrabah was like really like food from, I'm not sure exactly what country it would be from, but it was
like Middle Eastern.
Yeah, like the buffet, it wasn't like it was like, come to Agrabah Marketplace and get chicken fingers and stuff. It was actually like food
hummus or like those like medi, like kind of, I can't think of the word, but I hear what you're saying. And falafel and the accoutrements.
They did have
French word.
Yeah, they did have like the Mickey ice cream bars and things. Their Main Street Bakery, I was fascinated that it was like, you know, when you go into the one in the US, it's just like filled with merchandise and it's crazy, like everybody's everywhere. They had a Starbucks. They had a section where they had merchandise, but then it was so much quieter in there. Like one side had some Disney type themed pastries, but the other side was just pure, just French pastries, not anything Disney shaped or anything. It was just, you could get, you know, just regular pastries. Right. Because I'm so used to like in the US, they're like, this is Mickey shaped. This has got Mickey. Right. They were like,
Mickey's tears are in this.
Yeah. This shit Mickey took and it tastes like chocolate. They did have some themed snacks and things, but like I had a Mickey beignet. It was a big Mickey shape and it was filled with chocolate and it was really good. But they had like a window on Main Street that you could walk up and order it, which I was like, nice. Oh, what a novel idea. I only ate one little meal there and it was a kid's meal because that's my hack for Disney is ordering the kids' food because the portions it's cheaper and the portions are just fine. It was okay. I think I always, again, on Reddit, they were saying the food is just not that great. So I was not really exploring.
What did you get, though, for the kids' meal?
It was a burger and fries. I think it was, just a burger and fries. It came with something else too, like a yogurt or something, but it was just okay. Yeah. And they had mobile order, but I will say, like, the app site was like a little clunky to use, and then like picking it up, like I thought I was in the place and the guy's like, no, you need to go over there, and I was like, oh, this isn't super clear. I don't know if that's newer for them, but they definitely, it's something that I love to do with mobile order because it's easy, but it's not quite fully rolled out there.
Right. It's also like learning curve too. You're just like, I'm completely disoriented. I'm in this new space.
Yeah, you know? And I ate in this big restaurant in there. It's not called Tomorrowland. It's what's their land called? Like Discovery Land. I was gonna say if it's in the vein of what is it, Phantom Manor? It's the land of not today. The land of not today land. Sometime soon. Yeah. Not today land. Not today land. It was called Cafe Hyperion, which I was like, okay. And it was it reminded me of like, if you know, like the electric umbrella in Epcot or in Tomorrowland. What's the big one there? Is it like Starship Trader or like the big eatery there? Oh. Where they have, is it underneath the rocket? Yeah, it's like right by there. It's right by the auto cars too. Like you walk past there. Right. I forget what it's called, but I know what you're. Yeah, where they have like burgers and everything. So anyway, I also went to their like sort of Disney Springs, which was like right outside. They had a lot of like some stores, not huge, but I went to a lot of different stores. The merchandise, I was like. I didn't see anything I was super thrilled. Like, you can see my shirt is very plain. Yes. Like, I could have got this on Etsy. It just says Disneyland Paris. You rolled the sleeves up. It looks adorable. But I got you this, and then today I was like, wait, why did I get this? Like, you'll see, because I was like, you'll see. Oh, okay. But I'll feel you, like, and you can keep the bag, too, because oh my God, I get to, first of all, let me describe. We have also a Disneyland Paris bag. It's got Mickey and Minnie. It's got Stitch on it, and it's got Sleeping Beauty and Tiana with the castle in the background. Stitch was big everywhere because I think the movie was coming out, the live action. So, is this? Ooh! I got it bigger because I thought I remember in the last pot you were like, I like bigger hoodies. Well,
I like it. This is very sweet because you're like, I don't want to offend you.
Well,
I was like, I'm an extra small.
No,
Ryan.
I looked down and I was like, this is really big, but I was like, but I think that I remembered you were like, I liked.
Well, the thing also is in my household, my boyfriend shares my sweatshirts. Like they're interchangeable.
Yeah.
So this will be, it is so cute. It's Mickey Mouse, and he is in front of the Eiffel Tower, and there's fireworks, and it says Disneyland Paris, and he's putting out his hand like he's Vanna, going to show you that you just got a phrase right on Wheel of Fortune.
Wheel of Fortune.
Oh my goodness, it's nice and soft too.
But I was like, why am I giving you a hoodie in June? Like,
I'll take a hoodie.
Because
I brought a hoodie here today.
The weather was really cool there. Like, I wore a jacket and jeans and it was comfortable. And I think at the time I was like, this is appropriate for now. But then I was like, why am I giving you for the summer?
I need a hoodie all the time. You're right. It's a shitty gift. Take it back.
I'll go back to Paris.
Oh, I've thrown it. You can't see it, audience, but I've thrown it back over to Ryan. Well, all in all, thank you so much for the gift. I love it. It's traveled all the way from Paris or just outside of Paris. Mm-hmm. And let me ask, was there something else you wanted to say? No. So would you say people already have a trip planned to go to Paris. Do you think they should go out of their way to go to Disneyland Paris?
I think if you're a Disney fan, yes.
Yes.
If you're just like, we've been to Disney and like, then no, because I don't like it is like probably an hour or so outside of like it's
it's a trek.
If you're not a Disney theme park person, I don't think so. But if you're a Disney person, you absolutely have to go.
Or if you're there with kids, like did you feel like kids? Yeah, it was pretty accessible.
It was great for kids. I think it'd be great to take your kids.
Who thought Disney would be? I guess I was saying is like, did it seem frustrating to the parents that were there, or do you think they were maneuvering it pretty well?
Yeah, one of the things I read on Reddit too is people were talking about how bad behavior was there with like teenagers or like kids. I didn't see anything other than like I was like, well, this is the same children behavior that you see like running around.
I was going to say, we live in New York City, and around 3:00 when all school's out, it's a tween nightmare.
But even in Florida, I was like, I'm not seeing anything that I don't see in Florida of like somebody not telling their kid to sit down or like the cast members having. I will say the cast members were more direct with kids there.
Oh, very franche.
Well, they were just, and I appreciated that they were friendly. But if they tell you to sit down and they have to take on, they would really be like, sit, like, and I was like, I agree. They're there for your safety. Mm-hmm. Like, people mistake Disney's service being like, they have to be nice to me. And I was like, if you're doing something that is dangerous, I think they should have the right to come over and be like, you need to sit down or I'm going to have you like, And they were more direct like that there. And I was like, I appreciate that because
Macron is going to tell you to leave the country.
We've got ice right outside.
Yeah.
And we want to see Mickey's.
Actually, the reason that Macron's wife slapped him, which I don't know when this is going to come out because I realize it may not be pertinent anymore, but like a week and a half ago, there's a video that surfaced of him getting like playfully slapped by his wife when he was getting off the plane. It's because he wasn't sitting down and buckling his seatbelt on the plane. She also was his teacher previously. Anyway, very French.
On the next episode. So, yes, I recommend Disneyland Paris if you're a Disney fan. Or if you have kids, and it's really fun. I thought it was a good time. I would go back. I would do it again. So
you're making me want to go. Okay,
let's go.
I'm on Expedia right now, who is not a sponsor of this podcast,
but you can be.
Ryan, thank you so much for sharing your trip report with us, and please check us out on Instagram.
Should we do the Reddit?
Oh my God, I totally forgot about it.
Should we just skip it and do it?
No, do it.
I don't want to run into the...
I don't think we're going to... I think Abu Dhabi is going to be fine. Don't worry about it. Okay. Now... So, yes, thank you so much, Ryan, for sharing the trip report with us. Should we go to our Reddit rabbit hole corner now? Do you have one revved up for us?
Yeah, especially after doing that Alice in Wonderland maze with the white rabbit. I'm ready to go down the rabbit hole of Reddit Wonderland.
And I got out using my left hand.
Yeah. So is it me that shares one? Because you host?
Yes.
Okay, so today, this kind of could be fitting because we were talking about hotels and not staying in them. So, and not staying in them, not staying in the Disney ones because they're expensive and is the theming worth it? So this was a Disney Parks, I'm going to get this wrong, Disney Parks subreddit?
You got it. Your face.
Disney parks.
You look like Carol Channing. You're like, hey.
Jam tomorrow, jam yesterday, but never ever jam today. Disney parks subreddit. This person's unpopular Disney park opinion. Disney decors for many of its hotel properties suck now. I hate the modern millennial styling. It just lacks heart. It also, in many cases, looks less like Disney and more like a fancy Hilton. Old hotels felt more like a cartoon or fantasy, and they are slowly or completely removing that aesthetic.
You know, at the Contemporary, the rooms that I've seen, yeah. But I mean, I stay often at like All-Star Sports.
Me too. Or
and
Pop
they
Century,
refurb those rooms, and they desperately needed it. And I was very happy with what they did.
I was happy to get rid of the carpet. I don't love carpet.
Carpet was gross.
Yeah. I see what they mean by Hilton. It does have a cleaner, like Hilton-ish vibe, and the Disney is kind of toned down in the rooms, but the resort is still like the All-Stars. You still have the huge figures, and
I wonder if it's because they want to nickel and dime you. Like, if you want to get that theming, you're gonna have to pay for a more premium experience in the hotels.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm thinking about like art of animation,
right?
You know,
yeah, there's really good theming in those rooms.
So you're wrong person on on Reddit. No, I understand what they're saying, but also like if you're like you and I, we're just like, I'm gonna sleep, I'm gonna shit, and I'm gonna shower here.
Yeah, it's like if you're going just to like a place to drop your stuff, sleep, get out, then like what does it matter? Like sometimes to the point where I was like, should I stay offsite and save even more money? But then something about being in the Disney bubble is just really nice and convenient.
The buses and the other transportation is just really helpful.
Just knowing that the service everywhere is going to be, you know, good. And then, there's transportation for you and safety too. If you go solo, like I feel like a Disney property is a really safe place to be.
It is. I agree.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, everyone, for joining us on this episode of Disney Inside Out. Check us out on Instagram at Disney Inside Out Podcast. Right? Yes. I'll never know what it is. Same name on TikTok. And we'll talk to you real soon.
Au revoir.
Au revoir. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Oui, oui. Bonjour, mi amor, right? I'll just start speaking Spanish. Hello, welcome. And then at the end, I'll say, Auf Wiedersehen. Nope, that's German. No, okay, anyway, but close enough. Why, Andrea? Why are you such a language smith? That's a term that everybody
I'm like, where's this going?
Let's start over again.
We're taking the train down to Hades Town.